seafood, hundreds of dollars in a cash giveaway, and good conversation. What more could you want? Hello and welcome to this video, the first ever Eat With Me video on our channel. What the title of this video says is exactly what we're going to do in today's video. We're going to eat together, so get yourself a nice warm meal in front of you. There is a cash giveaway going on in this video, and I'll announce the rules for it in a few minutes. And of course, we're going to have lots of good conversation, as always on this channel. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Pamela. I'm a lawyer and entrepreneur by trade. That's what keeps me busy during the day. And to be honest, basically until 2 to 4 a.m. every night, I work nonstop. And this is what I like to do with my work, spend it on good times with you, good food, good vacations, and all the luxury items we talk about on this channel, from buying my first Rolls Royce to going to some of the world's most expensive resorts, and so on and so forth. So let's get started. First of all, what's in front of us? Okay, I have here about 10 pounds of food. I guess this is like the seafood boil is what you would call it. For me, I just call it my favorite food ever. One of probably my top 2 favorite foods of all time. I will never, ever, ever forget just the palate explosions I had on my first trip to New Orleans. And since then, it's been like a Cajun obsession, everything. Where I live, we don't really have a lot of Cajun restaurants. And the one place, I literally talk about this at least once a week, that I used to get my Cajun fix from, closed. I mean, seafood is expensive. I can understand that, in today's economy, probably they weren't the busiest place in the block because they weren't doing, the little stuff. They were doing, exclusively king crab and above kind of grade. And they closed. So that's put me on the hunt to make, all this stuff myself. Let me know if you want any cooking videos on this channel, by the way. I don't usually talk about that because I have so many other things to talk about with you guys. But I am... dare I say, a chef, not just a cook. I'm a very good cook as well. So we can always put some of that education out there. Now, again, in terms of what we have, the staple of most seafood boils is snow crab. So I have a bowl. This is 5 pounds of snow crab just here by itself. I keep it separate. You might see in this video actually, so it's not like one giant pot, it's 3 kind of big pots. So I have the vegetables all separate. For vegetables, I did sweet corn, potatoes, and you probably can't see it. You might see it as I start eating through it. There's mushrooms in there, portobello mushrooms. You can use any kind. I use the portobello honest answer because I'm at a friend's place right now. This is not my home. And I had never used her fridge before, and I noticed some of the vegetables I put in the back of the fridge froze. So listen, when you come from nothing, it's that never leaves you, okay? That never leaves most of us that came from the hustling places I came from. So instead of using the good mushrooms up front, I use the frozen stuff so I could save it and not throw it out. So that's the only reason it's the freak choice of portobello mushrooms in this seafood boil. And then here we have some of the eclectic stuff. So I have lobster here, I have king crab, I have scallops, and I have shrimp. Have been falling a little bit out of love with shrimp lately because of how much of it is farmed. That is not my scene when it comes to seafood. So it's been so hard to get the shrimp that I would feel comfortable serving to my family that I've kind of just given up on doing shrimp altogether in a lot of ways. And I have some extra sauce on the side and 1 knife and 1 fork from my friend. Oh, and to drink, no matter what restaurant I'm at, first of all, I don't consume alcohol, but no matter what restaurant I'm at, it's pretty much water, or if I'm feeling, some type of way, it might be sparkling water. And I'll tell you what, I'm paying, again, come from nothing. You gotta, you learn how to, those people that do a prison workout even when they're not in prison anymore. Well, it's the same kind of thing when you make it, but you came from poverty. So I do the water because when I spend this much money, this was $500 of seafood. So when I spend this much money on the seafood, I want to taste every lick of the seafood, and I don't want the water and I don't want my drink impacting my palate. So anyways, let's start and do some talking. Oh, and of course I have like the absolute biggest rag I could find in the house. The biggest one, because it's gonna get dirty. Okay, what do we start with? The safest thing is a friggin' vegetable because it's not gonna squirt in my face. But let's start with some snow crab. Okay. One thing is, so the crab, like people look at the legs, but for me, I always have somebody else, I always have a man crack my crab claws for me. And this video is just you and I, so I'm here with my incompetent self, a little nervous to crack the legs. So I always go for the low-hanging fruit, which is this part that's all meat. Notice like this has been cleaned, right? So there's no like lungs of the crab or gills or weird stuff. Like this, if you cut into it, each of these you could kind of scoop out, have like a teaspoon of meat in them, okay? But the low effort that took versus the high effort this is going to take for the same teaspoon of meat, I go with, like I said, I start with the low-hanging fruit. And I did bring a knife here. Just in case we need to use it, although I hope I don't. And the king crab, that one I always get very scared to touch. See, like, look at that high yield for such low effort. That's efficiency, so I'm gonna go with it. I'm very, very good. Like I said, I tasted this myself. I made this myself. One thing you have to be really careful when you cook seafood, and I tell my husband all the time, the king crab, for example, on the package, it said cook for 12 minutes. At the 5-minute mark, because as you can imagine, I've been burned a lot of times doing the wrong thing. At the 5-minute mark, I tasted it. It was 100% flaky, tender, cooked through. I stopped cooking it at 5 minutes. If I cooked it at 12 minutes, I would have looked like the incompetent one serving my family food that wasn't cooked all the way through. God, I could really use help with this. And there's no like magic to the cut. I'm just like a hungry otter in the Pacific here trying to get meat by any and all means. Okay, so I did a vertical cut and that's what I got. So see what I mean? The little lump meat, I got the same amount of meat for no effort, whereas now I'm dealing with a knife, risking cutting my hands off, that I need to type as a lawyer. So it's a lot more high stakes. And if you've cooked it well, the meat is going to be delicious. Like, the meat is going to be delicious no matter what part of it you're cooking. And of course, seasoning. I made my own like Cajun blend, including like a Cajun base, but I add more stuff to it. I added lots of lemon and lemon juice. I added salt. I don't know if this was a salted or unsalted Cajun blend, but I still added salt. I added jalapeno. I added green onions. I added parsley. I forgot to add garlic, but usually I do that too. I boil the garlic. I fry the garlic first. Okay, I'm gonna give up on that leg and move on to another one. Look at the lump. Look how easy that is. Like, here I am trying to cut my hands off. But then the thing is, I can't be this like animal that just eats the lump out of all of these and leaves the leg. So whatever I leave, rest assured, will be eaten off camera. As I made abundantly clear, we don't waste food here, and the statistics on food wastage are horrific. So that's not something I can get behind, no matter what level of life I'm blessed to be at. And it's really, I remember, so there's 2 statistics on food. I mean, you came to this channel, you know we're going to talk about serious stuff. There's 2 statistics on food that really scare me. One is that every day I think there's like well over 100,000 people that don't make it through the day owing to starvation. And the second is, do you know what the cure to starvation is? It's a meal. There's no fancy drugs. There's no, big buildings. There's no super technology. It's a meal. So I am very, very cautious to never waste food, because there are people that won't make it through the day because of the food they have. So whatever you've got in front of you right now, that's a good one. Whatever you've got in front of it right now, we always say thank you that we are where we are. Okay, so let's talk. This has been This was a very big year for me professionally. It was a very big year for me personally, and all those things. And as you've seen on this channel, this was a year of a lot of fun. So it made me think of going back to all the fun videos we posted on this channel, and I was thinking, you know, like what was my favorite place to ever visit that I've posted on this channel that you guys could, you know, look up on the video. My favorite country to ever visit, and there's a lot for different reasons. Like there's a kind of, you know, like Japan I love just for, like, my favorite thing about Japan, for example, is the food. My favorite thing about, you know, yada yada yada, and the list goes on. Look at that. That's the lump stuff. That's this. No effort. I'm not telling you to go the no effort route in life, to be very, very clear. I chose to go the most high effort, difficult route in life possible for myself. I'm just saying, like, when the risk here is gashing my hands, I'm going a little on the low effort side. So, my favorite place ever, all things considered, is Australia. I mean, the serenity there, like, you know, in North America, people, for example, they buy eucalyptus as like a treat, like a mental health, you know, put it in the steamer in the shower kind of thing. In Australia, I joke that it's like free therapy to some extent. It's free aromatherapy, let's put it that way. Eucalyptus lines the streets, and the animals are all just so quirky and so cute, other than, yes, the deadly ones. But the animals you see, hopefully you don't see the deadly ones, are so cute. And so it makes you feel like you're like in a cartoon in your childhood kind of thing. It evokes that inner child situation. Okay, let's do corn. Sweet corn. It evokes that inner child situation. Like you'll be walking to get, you know, groceries, and you'll see like cockatoos and parrots and all these like gorgeously colored animals. Sweet corn, my favorite is like grilled, so it gets the charcoal marks, although that leaves your teeth a mess. Eating that kind of corn with people around, you better be very close to those people. So, I mean, it's literally a seafood boil anyway, so I had to boil it for the video. But that's my favorite kind. Depending on where in the world you're from, it can take a lot of time to make it to Australia. But once you make it there, like, I'm already planning my next trip back. Favorite hotel so far? It's been a lot, but overall, the undeniable heavyweight champion for me so far has been the Sugar Beach Resort in St. Lucia. That was, like, it wasn't a bedroom kind of thing, it was a villa on the resort. Own private pool, private hot tub, private, you know, multiple decks, ginormous, multi-thousand square feet space. That's just a win. Private butler, all of that. And I can link that up here. Yes, hefty price tag. But keep in mind, like when you get to that level kind of thing, you can go with other people and split the bill. Because the 3-bedroom villa we rented it could accommodate either 6 or 8. And that's adults, like that's not including children. So there's a world in which if there's 6 people and they each have, like, imputing 3 couples, for example, and they each have like 2 kids, I guess 12 people right there for the price when we stayed. And the prices fluctuate all the time, but the price in Canadian dollars when we stayed was $7,500 a night. With 12 people, you're bringing it down to hundreds a person, not thousands. My favorite, people always ask, what's your favorite brand? What's your favorite brand? Okay, let's try one of these. Please don't be disappointed if I can't crack it through. I might have to go the low-hanging fruit route on this one too. So this is a king crab. The biggest freaking difference in eating them, I love king crab meat. The biggest difference in eating them, so the snow crab is smooth. Like obviously there's still some bumps on it, but it's smooth. This, just prepping this meal, I bled on the king crab. I don't know if you can see all the like extremely sharp spikes. It's a apex type of animal, you know, like it's top of the food chain for the food chain it lives in. Oh, thank God, it came pre-cracked. So this might be like the one sexy pull we get on this video if I don't ruin it. We got one. Very good. I honestly feel like it was overcooked at the 5-minute mark, and they said on the package cook it for 12. You know what? You know what I think did the trick? I'm just trying to think of like the science of it. So usually the shell protects the meat, so you can imagine that the meat in the shell is gonna take longer to cook than the meat here because this is exposed. But does the store pre-crack them, and I didn't know that? Actually, the hot water has seeped in all the way through, so that's why they cook so fast. But they've cooked like really, really fast. Okay, this is a good one. Favorite, yeah, so people always ask my favorite brands. I mean, you know, I got one. You have no, I don't usually get to do that. I'm empty inside, so I really got it. Favorite brands, honestly, I'm so bored with what's on the market right now. I don't really have like a favorite clothing brand or a favorite houseware brand or things like that. You know, I can tell you like favorite cookware brands, like all of my kitchen is Le Creuset and Le Mauvier, the copper, all copper for like the pan type stuff, and for the bigger structural stuff, it's all Le Creuset. But favorite, I guess, everyday brand that I see and touch every day. This is gonna come as such a like shock and surprise. You're gonna be like, what the hell? You know what? I'm not mentally ready for that. Let's do a scallop. Low hanging fruit. Favorite everyday brand is this kids brand I've been loving called Pehr, P-E-H-R. It's all organic cotton, super ethical, super nice, but the fabrics are structured, you know? You know the difference like between, listen, you gotta wear what you gotta wear to make it through the day, okay? So this is a no judgment thing. I've mentioned my background like 50 freaking times in this video. We get it. If you, like I went to my grade 5 graduation when we came to Canada, when I was the most awarded student ever at that freaking school. I had a girl come up to me after and try to choke me because she was jealous of how many awards I won. Yes, true story. Yes, in grade 5. We're talking freaking 9 and 10-year-olds putting hands around my neck. That gruesomeness aside, I attended my grade 5 graduation and walked out of there like the biggest boss of all time wearing a $1 top. My outfit was from the dollar store. This would have been like 20 years ago when you could actually get like clothing and things of quality or semi-quality, survivable items, right? Like I'm not comparing the dollar store to Dior here, but you could cover up and it wouldn't stick out and you would get to have the integrity of being dressed. And once in a while it was a nice color or something. My grade 5 graduation in Canada, I wore a shirt that cost $1, probably $1.13 because we have tax. Very high tax. The scallop is very good. So that's what it is. So when I talk about this stuff, like come up with me kind of thing, you know, because everybody can do it. Money's made up. We can all have the big pots. My favorite brand is Pehr. They have like onesies and they have like kids clothes like onesies, blazers, things like that. And it's funny because I think they've lowered the prices a little bit. When Pehr started, I was like one of the first to shop there years ago. So what I was mentioning compared to the cheaper textiles, like these are very structured garments, and I love that. I really do. When Pear started years ago, like their average onesie was like $80 to $100 kind of thing, and could have gone to my graduation 80 to 100 times. But they were so worth it because they're the kind of things, like if you get those for your kids, they'll wear like, you know, you can get 3 of them every few months as opposed to like 20 of them from the dollar store every other day because they're ripping, not washing, and so on and so forth. Now, I do want one more scallop actually. Oh, it was very good. So that's like the most boring answer on earth, and you're probably gonna be like, what the hell? But I'm keeping it honest. That's a brand that has impressed me in terms of the structural integrity of its product compared to everything else. Okay, now we know one of the main reasons we're here as well is the giveaway. I cannot say thank you enough to you guys for watching, subscribing, commenting. I always do an annual giveaway. Last year I did it on my other channel. And this year's giveaway is going to be no different. The rules are super simple. There's 3 steps. They're all free. They all take 1 second. And in return, you could win $250 US cash to have yourself and your family a really good holiday meal, whatever holiday you celebrate, wherever you are in the world. This is open worldwide. I will either e-transfer you or mail you the money based on how you are able to receive it. Not everybody, you know, not everybody can do e-transfer, and not everybody can do mail, so I'll accommodate whatever way you can best receive that money. Now, to win $250 US, 3 things. 1 is subscribe to this channel. 2 is follow my new Instagram account at KingPamToYou. I will link it here as I speak, the handle, so you can find it on Instagram in half a second. And the 3rd is I want you to comment down below what you are thankful for yourself, because no matter what stage of life we're in, there's always something to be thankful for. And let's turn this comment space into a positive space. I don't want it to have anything to do with me. I want it to be, you know, like I said, a happy comment space for you guys. Today is November 22nd. I will announce the winner December 5th so that the money has time to get to you before your holiday meal. I cannot be grateful enough to those of you that watch and support this channel. It's a part of my dreams, and there's no price tag on supporting somebody's dreams. So I want to thank you for that. And if this giveaway does well, we can do another one like literally first thing in the new year. So however this turns out, don't worry about it. We're going to do more. One thing I wanted to leave you with in today's video, because if you've seen this channel, you know we always, yes, we know. You know, I don't keep it superficial. I mean, you can tell that from what we've heard so far. We talked about literally world hunger. I don't just keep it superficial. There's no point, life's too short. Small talk literally gives me headaches. Like, it makes me, I have physical reactions to small talk. It's just reiterate one of life's biggest lessons for me, and one of the reasons we lose a lot of people on the pathway to success. Everybody watching this video is capable of being the most successful person they've ever known. I made myself that. For what I do today, there is not one thing that I do today, whether it's something as fun as like this YouTube channel and sharing it with you guys, I feel like there's something in my life, or being a lawyer, or being an entrepreneur, or like a business owner, to all the very different businesses I have. There is not one thing I do today that I grew up seeing in my circles growing up. Not one person in my family, extended, relative, kin, whatever, you know, Shakespearean word you want to use. I never saw an example of the person I am. And as a tangent, obviously that caused a lot of struggle between myself and the individuals around me, who at best might have been trying to protect me, this and that. They never understood where I was going. So it always caused this like, why are you like that? What, you know, always that friction. I kept going. I know what my purpose is. Figure out what your purpose is and don't stop. And make sure, as a disclaimer, that that purpose is centered on yourself. The only time your purpose should include somebody else is if you're in a healthy marriage, your spouse and your child. Those are the only people that you open that gate for. Because everything else, it doesn't mean we're going to leave grandma dying at the shelter, but everything else will naturally fall into place if you take best care of yourself, okay? So in terms of taking best care of yourself, the one lesson I want to, the one, those memes on TikTok lately that are like, can I give you a tip? And instead of money, they'll tell the girl, like, you should dye your roots blonde, so let me give you a tip after this meal, okay? Do not compromise the long-term vision driven by the purpose you've narrowed down for yourself based off of short-term pleasures. $3 a day to get a beer, or $5 a day, depending what country you're in, is a short-term pleasure. A lot of people have $3 to $5 a day. But if you put together $5 a day over the course of the year, you could have pursued a higher education course that can allow you to earn tens of thousands of dollars more next year. That's just by way of small example, okay? So do not fall for the short-term pleasure. There's a lot of things out there in our society meant to numb your mind and keep you down. Society is built upon you falling for short-term pleasures. Who on top do you think wants another competitor on top? Who on top do you think wants to lose their share so that they see you grow yours? Nobody. So you stick to what you know is going to get you on top, because nobody else wants you up there. Don't fall for short-term pleasures. Whatever it is, whatever it is. There's so many superficial examples I could give you, based on just reviews on this channel. For example, you could get a box of crumble cookies a week for $40, I think it's now for a box, at least in Canadian dollars. Or you could save for a few weeks and go to a Michelin star restaurant and have a world-class experience that gives you something to talk about. It inspires you. It lets you be a leader in your community, telling others where to eat, where to spend their money, this and that. That's the world's most superficial example. But I gave other examples in terms of what's at stake, with focus on, getting the right partner to help you for your life, if that's what you're interested, if that's part of your purpose, for example, as opposed to focusing on, who to close the night with. Focus on, if you have kids, you can literally invest in silver and gold bars for your children that cost tens of dollars, not hundreds, not thousands. And how many plastic toys do you think the average child has in their closet in America today? More than would have been the value of investing in special metals for them. Don't fall for the short-term stuff. I'm not telling you enjoy life, and if that's the hiccup you get, it's because society's done a good job of keeping you down. Not falling for short-term pleasures doesn't mean not enjoying life. Am I not enjoying life here right now? I'm having the best time talking with you guys, and I'm so thankful you're here. And I want to share some of what's helped me get here with you as we close out this year. Close this year strong. Close this year strong. Be relentless in the pursuit of your vision, while still being good people, of course. And thank you for watching this video. There's no way on earth I was going to eat 10 pounds of food. I think that's crazy, unless you're on that meal plan for a reason. This is what I have in terms of shells and garbage in my main bowl. I still made a dent, but I'm not going to waste a single herb of this food. Of course, I'm going to call some people and help me out in finishing it. Thank you so much for watching. The rules of the giveaway are very clear, like I mentioned at the beginning. Subscribe to this Pamela channel. Follow my personal Instagram channel that, again, I'll link here. I'll link it in the description box. You're going to be able to find it. It's 2024. And leave a comment down below of something you are thankful for. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have the best until I see you again, which is probably going to be next week. We post weekly luxury content here on this channel. Good luck in everything that you do.